down my walks with the strength of your love. I never knew love like I've known it with you, where the memories survive. Say no, let me stop playing with y'all. What's going on, YouTube? It's Kevin. I hope you guys are having a good night, and I hope this video is not up too late. I did just get finished watching the Whitney movie. I'm just gonna call it Bobby and Whitney, because it wasn't just focused on Whitney, it was focused on Bobby Brown as well, and their relationship for 5 years. So I'm gonna call it the Bobby and Whitney movie, because it's just not the Whitney Houston movie like we all thought the movie was going to be. I just want to give a shout out to Angela Bassett, because she directed the hell out this movie, and this is her directorial debut, and she did a great job. And yes, everyone was afraid of how this movie was going to turn out. Like, the reason why we were afraid, because we know that Lifetime 2 months ago came out with the Aaliyah movie, and the Aaliyah movie was just terrible. It looked like a play or a high school play. People didn't look like the characters who they were supposed to look like. And Angela Bassett, you know, we was just like, oh my God. You know that picture with Whitney Houston where everyone was saying, Whitney was saying like, oh my God, and my movie is next. And in my heart, I knew that Angela Bassett would not do a film, take on a film and just, you know, put anything together. And I know that Angela Bassett was saying that she only had a couple weeks to put this movie together, and she did a great job. Like, to me, nothing looked out of place. Everything, the story was just told the right way, and you know, the way that the cast looked, the way they dressed, the props that was in the film, like the old school phones and the old school computers, it just looked so 90s to me. Everything, it was just on point. The Whitney Houston story itself, again, the movie just told the story of her from the beginning when she met Bobby Brown at the Soul Train Music Awards, how Robin felt. Like, Robin, I really think that Robin... Well, somebody text my phone. Let me check and see. Oh, goodness. Let me check and see who this is. Beyonce, this is not about you, okay? So anyway, the movie told the story of how Whitney met Bobby back in the 1990s at the Soul Train Music Awards, and I was just like, damn, Bobby tried Whitney already in the first 3 minutes of this movie. And then, you know, it gradually told you guys about their relationship in the beginning, and how Whitney wasn't sure if she really wanted to date him, and he getting upset, and, you know, him leaving, to all the sex that they were having. I mean, they were like added throughout this whole damn movie. Sex scene after 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 sex scene. The only sex scene that I didn't like was the first sex scene. The first sex scene had reggae music playing, and I was over there, because I'm like, can you picture Whitney Houston making love to reggae music? No. So I just was mad about that part. I don't know who played Clive Davis, but I think that was the best casting in this film, because he looked exactly like Clive Davis. I was like, bitch, she's on point with that character right there. And we've seen that, you know, throughout the movie, that Clive Davis was just a pimp daddy. Like, he just wanted that money. Yes, he was happy. He was happy Whitney had that baby, but he was like, okay, so when are you going on tour? And, you know, he down talked to Bobby Brown. Like, I thought that he was trying to sign Bobby Brown since he was with Whitney and everything, and that didn't happen. He just wanted Whitney to go back on tour and everything. I learned that Whitney Houston had a miscarriage, and I never knew that she had a miscarriage. And, you know, Trendy Trent from Twitter told me that Whitney Houston had several miscarriages. And that's just something that I never knew. I knew about the drugs. Something I didn't know is that Whitney was doing drugs that early. And it was like, you know, the way they showed how Whitney was doing drugs, it was never mentioned. It was just done. It was just like, why? No, in the first scene it was done. But then Bobby, no, it wasn't like that. Bobby just was like, damn, I can't believe. He's like, no, what the fuck? Wait a minute, I'm trying to go back. He just was saying that, you know, I don't do all that partying stuff. I don't do that. He said something like that. And anyway, we seen them do it together in the film. It just was like no big deal that Whitney was snorting in the film, and I just was like, oh my God, like nobody was going to say anything. And how Whitney was quick to run and snort whenever she was upset about something, or you know, she was partying, and mainly we seen her do it when she was upset with Bobby. I wish that they would have touched more on the relationship with Whitney and what's her name? What is her damn name? Whitney and Robin, but it wasn't about her. But you can tell that Robin felt some kind of way about Whitney getting with Bobby, and it was kind of like she was in love with Whitney, even though it wasn't said, but you can see it. And you know, it's sometimes you have that friend that you might like, or you might had a friend that you liked and you didn't like that they liked somebody, and you just were trying to convince them that they wasn't the right person for you. That's what I got from Robin in the film. The person that played Whitney Houston's mom, Sissy Houston, was from The Parenthood. I can't remember her name, but she just reminded me so much of Mary J. Blige. And I know I'm not the only one that just like, damn, why they just didn't put Mary J. Blige in if they wanted somebody to look like Mary? Because she didn't look like Sissy at all. I think it should have been an older woman, even though she is, you know, at a particular age. I think that an older woman would have done for that, you know, for that role as Sissy Houston. A lot of the people, they looked similar, but not like on point. Nobody was on point like Clive Davis, but Yaya, you could tell as the movie came along that she felt comfortable in her role and she embodied the role as Whitney Houston. It wasn't like how when we seen TLC movie and Little Mama embodied Left Eye from the beginning. It was kind of shaky in the beginning. She didn't sound like Whitney, and I just was like, damn, at least she could have, you know, studied, you know, how Whitney spoke. But, you know, at that point throughout the movie, I was just enjoying the ride that the movie was taking us on. It was just a great movie. And, you know, I think Twitter and everybody on Twitter and that I wrote, you know, that I've seen on Facebook, everyone enjoyed the movie. I didn't see not one negative post about the movie. Like, nobody was like, oh, this is corny, why this and that, and oh, everybody don't look like, you know how when we seen the Leah movie, people didn't look like who they're supposed to look like. At least Angela tried to have some feature from that person in the movie. The person that played Bobby Brown, no, he didn't have the signature gap, but I still think that he did a good job. And at first I was just, you know, like, I was just like, I don't know, because he don't look like Bobby Brown, because we all feel some kind of way when you see a movie and a person don't look exactly like a person, you know. But he did a great job. I think that everybody in this film did a great job, and Angela Bassett did a great job of telling the 5-year story of Bobby Brown and Whitney Houston. But there is a huge but. I feel like this movie scratched the surface, because there is so much to Whitney and Bobby's relationship that, you know, if Lifetime really wanted to, if they wanted to tell the story of Bobby and Whitney, they could have made this into a miniseries, because it was left like a cliffhanger. It was just like, okay, we seen that Bobby was cheating on Whitney. We seen Whitney doing the drugs. We seen Whitney deal with the miscarriage. We seen Whitney have the baby. We seen Whitney going back on tour, and then she's coming home. And, you know, Bobby Brown's fan getting killed, and she's seen that he was in the bed cheating on her. And I said that, but I wanted to get to, you know, we seen where Robin was trying to, you know, force her to get Bobby Brown out of her life and get a divorce from him and end this now before something bad really happens. And then we seen the scene with her cursing out Bobby, and then we seen Whitney saying, I will always love you. And then we had the, you know, the little captions tell us what went on at, you know, how long the relationship lasted. I feel like this movie could have been more into Bobby Brown and Whitney. If the movie was going to be called Whitney, it should have showed more of Whitney than Bobby, you know. But again, I know that the movie was focused on the relationship That's why I'm trying to understand why the fuck this movie wasn't called Bobby and Whitney. I think that would have been the perfect title. Yeah, so there's a whole lot more to Whitney's story, and I can't wait until a movie is made. I don't know how long down the line this will this movie be made for the theaters, or will it be told like on HBO or something? I just don't want all the commercials no more. No more TV movies. If it's gonna be TV, excuse me. If it's gonna be on TV, it needs to be like on HBO. That's the only. The fuck. It needs to be on HBO. But again, I'm going to tip my hat off to Angela Bassett because I really enjoyed her directorial debut. She did a great job with telling this story. She didn't harp too much on Whitney doing the drugs. She didn't make a big deal out of it, but she didn't hide it. And I respect her for that. And when Angela Bassett said she knew Whitney and she was going to tell the story, she did a great job. And Lifetime, me and y'all are friends again. Just no more disasters. And Wendy Williams, I hope that you took notes while watching this. As a producer, you know, you just watch this film, Wendy. And the next time you produce a movie, make sure that the story is told right. I think Wendy was so focused on Aaliyah and R. Kelly's relationship, and, you know, we couldn't get the music. We couldn't even get the music to the movie. That's what just another thing that just made it bad, along with the casting choices. And I left out Deborah Mother effing Cox. Say what you want about Deborah Cox, but that is one singing woman. She can sing. No, she didn't sound like Whitney, but bitch, she was close. Close enough that's where you're going to get Deborah Cox sang those songs. All she had to do was go in the studio and sing and get that easy money. I mean, come on now. We all know Deborah Cox can sing. So I think she did a great job. I think some people, that's something I probably did see. Some people didn't like that Deborah Cox was doing the vocals, but she did a great job. And the only thing I'm going to critique is that last part, when I Will Always Love You, I never remember Whitney going, and all of that stuff. I don't remember that, but Deborah, you did a great job. And I think my favorite scene from this movie was the I'm Every Woman scene, where Yaya was just, you can tell she was enjoying herself and performing. Like, she had Whitney moves down. She had like the mannerisms. She had that walk, the clap. Like, bitch, Yaya fucking did that. And I must say, at one point of the movie, like probably maybe 45 minutes in, I didn't look at her as Yaya no more. I looked at her as Whitney Houston in the film. So it was just, I love this film. But again, this film just scratched the surface. There's so much more to Whitney Houston's life. There's so much more to Whitney Houston's story that needs to be told. But I am glad that I did learn some things in this movie that I didn't know and I thought I did know. You know, if you learned something, you know, let me know what you learned. Did you like the film? Did you hate the film? I enjoyed it, and I would actually watch the movie again. I just wish that it would have told more of the story of Bobby and Whitney. But I know, again, Angela Bassett didn't have a lot of time to put this movie together. She only had 3 weeks. So, based on 3 weeks, I'm ready to see where Angela Bassett has next for her next film that she directs. Shit, she could put me in the film. I would be in it. I'll be front and center. Do a casting call in Philly. I'll be right there. But anyway, y'all, thank y'all for watching. I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your weekend. Mikkel and I will be back with a video Tuesday night. Like, late Tuesday night, because Mikkel is going on a trip on Monday. So we won't be able to record. But, yeah, we'll be back. And my mother is coming back, too. So, look out for new videos next week. And I will talk to y'all later. Peace.